Hi, welcome to Mindful Conversations. My name is Greg Dwyer. My guest today is Jeanette Westwood. She is going to teach us how to declutter. I'm so happy that she's with us today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Greg, for having me today.
I met you at a meetup group, I'm not sure.
Networking.
Yeah, networking group. And you fascinated me by telling me that you help people to declutter, right? Is that what you do?
Yes.
So how did you get involved and how did you come up with this great business idea?
I started to run tag sales out of my home, in my front yard, and folks started to notice that I can sell.
Oh, you can sell?
Sell.
Oh, good.
Yes. And then they saw how I was organizing my tag sale, and they said, boy, you're a great organizer.
Wow.
So when I went to one of my friend's homes, she asked me if I can help her organize her closet. Mm-hmm. So we started to work together. Then I eventually told her to step aside. She was in the way.
I love it.
Yeah. So I was able to get her closet in order. Her friend saw how great it looked, and she said, do you think she'd come over here and do our closet too? So that just snowballed, and I said, there's a need.
Yeah.
So then I started to organize garages, attics, cellars, and it's just been snowballing from there. So.
It's funny you say that. We're all subjective. I'm subjective, you're subjective, and I don't think we see what we don't see, or we can't see things. So I had a friend come over one day, and she said, what are you doing with this stuff? And I said, I don't know. It's just, can you help me? And within 20 minutes, a half an hour, I got rid of so many things. But I would have never done it myself. And I don't understand why. Like, why is that true?
Well, we all need a little motivation.
Okay.
And when you have a buddy working next to you, it kind of makes things go much quicker.
Right.
And you don't realize after a while the items that are around you because you're coming in and out of your space.
You don't see it after a while.
You don't see it after a while.
You don't.
And that's why a lot of homes I go into, items are encroaching on them.
Right.
And then they put their blinders on, and then they stop having family over. I mean, it's a whole chain of events that happen.
Yeah.
What I'm finding is there are so many folks that either something tragic happened to them, either a loss of a child, a divorce, loss of job, health reasons. That's where they get into a buying spree.
A buying spree? Oh,
yes, a buying spree.
To avoid the pain.
Yes, they're filling a void.
Okay.
They're filling a void. Some of them, they're on TV at night, they're watching TV, and they are just ordering. Amazon shows up at their door every day, dropping off packages. It's a real epidemic, and 1 in 5 homes are hoarders.
1 in 5?
1 in 5 homes, and it's all walks of life.
Wow.
Some homes are, they're pit stops.
What do you mean? People just throw their stuff there?
Yeah, because workloads are outrageous. You're running around with the kids, bringing them to soccer, doing this. Or, we don't have time to put things back.
Right.
You use them, but you cannot return them to their space where they belong.
Right.
And that's where things just snowball.
Right.
And it catches up to you.
I see it with clothes, and I think, maybe you can correct me, but I think I heard 80% of what you have as far as clothes you don't wear.
Right.
So
we always set ourselves up to fail.
Why?
How we do that is we say, next year I'm going to wear that clothes. I'm going to get down to a size 10 again. We set ourselves up to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, in the back of our mind we're thinking we got to, but then someone calls you up, hey, do you want to go out for pizza? Hey, you want to go out and do this? You want to do that? And life just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And then you feel like, I'm never going to get into that. And then you start getting depressed.
Right.
It's a whole cycle of the way we hurt ourselves. We set ourselves up to fail. We say, I'm going to wear this again, this nice dress, I'm going to have nice legs again, or whatever.
Right, sure.
And we just set ourselves up to fail.
Last year, for the first time, I went through with a garbage bag. I went through my closet, and I just pulled stuff out, put it on. If it didn't fit, went in the bag. And if it was out of date, went in the bag. And it felt good. And I still have to work on it. It's not finished. But I was amazed how many things I have that I don't even have any interest in wearing at all. And it's filling up my closet.
Well, we were all brought up to keep everything because just in case.
Right.
If you needed this screw, this nut, this bolt, because once you throw it away, what happens?
Yeah.
You need it. So all the homes, many homes that I go into, they still have the jars screwed up in the basements.
Oh.
Okay, filled with the nuts and all that. And they're all I mean, it's egg crates, milk cartons. They're all full of water because they're afraid of a tragedy that's going to happen.
Right.
We were all taught. We all have hope chests. We hang on to things. Our kids' items when they, their first drawing and all that. And when we try to pass it on to them when they're old enough, they don't want anything to do with it. No. It's a totally different era today. They're a throwaway society. They don't want grandma's china. They don't want mom's hutch. They don't want items like that. They want items to throw away. They don't care. They're not buying for quality.
Right.
So
I have a confession. My thing that I hoard are books. Like my house looks like a library, and there's so many books. I say to myself, I'm never going to finish them. Number two, some of the books I bought 20 years ago, I've lost interest. So I start pulling off books and start giving them to friends, going, "You really need this," but it's a problem. There's many homes we go into that have. I mean, then we got to lug the books out. When they don't want them anymore. But what we specialize in is. Standing side by side with folks, helping them sort through, for example, their kitchen cabinets. Getting rid of all their old plastic containers that are all cut up, things that we just hang on to and we keep putting the good stuff in front of it. I'm guilty.
Yes, and we donate things to animal shelters. Okay, sheets, towels, blankets, bowls, whatever they're in need of. But there's so many different charities that are looking for, like the veterans and the whole bit. But we work side by side with you, and we help you sort through the things you want to keep. And a lot of folks are downsizing. The kids have grown, and they want to go into a new home. And we end up with piles of stuff that they no longer want that is still good. So we end up having an estate sale.
Wonderful.
Okay, and we go in, we stage it all, make it look like a store. We price it. Take pictures, advertise it, and I have thousands of followers. So what they do is they show up at the door, and we sell it all.
And they're your good salesperson.
Yes.
And you're a good organizer, and you're using your gifts. So how do folks get a hold of you? Give a plug. I'd love to have them find you.
I know this is out of the ordinary, but this is my business card.
I love it.
That way, you can't lose it. You can read it without having to find your glasses. You can put it on your refrigerator. I work with a lot of seniors and a lot of healthcare and realtors. But you can reach us at letsgetorganizedtoday.com, or you can email me at lgotodayllc@aol.com. And keep in mind, we are insured and bonded and part of the Better Business Bureau as well. And if you'd like to be added to our email list, where we can send out your the post, our upcoming estate sales, we can include you in that posting. And you can come to our next sale.
Excellent. So who is your ideal customer? Who's the person that seeks you out? Is it retired people? Is it widows? Is it people that are just downsizing? Who is your target market, in other words?
People moving.
People moving. Okay.
People moving.
All right.
Yes, we do deal with a lot of seniors who are, a lot of them are hoarders because it's that generation. And then their health gets in the way, and they can't clean after themselves. And either they go into rehab, and then we go in and we make the house safe. Or we can move their bedroom from the second floor down to the first floor if they're at that stage. We make things accessible for them.
Now, what about your house? I have to ask, right? It's like the cobbler shoes. I mean, you must have it immaculate, right? Do you have somebody come in and clean for you, or what do you do?
I'm human, so things get out of hand.
So
like
before we hire you, we're going to swing by your house.
Oh boy. No, I have things in order.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, that's why I was kidding with you. I said, how does my desk look before we started, Because everybody wants to know, somebody that's a medical doctor, is he in good health, Or is he smoking, Or, so it kind of ties together. So I love the philosophy that is behind this. A friend of mine just told me that she went to a seminar, and they talked about hoarding and clutter with weight. And they tied the two concepts together. They said, if you have a house that's full of things, it might be related to your weight loss or your weight gain. And if you get rid of the things and organize your life, it might help you with your health. Have you seen that connection as well?
Yes, I have. I'm not a psychiatrist.
I'm not either. I see one.
Yeah.
No,
can I have their card? No. Usually when you start having weight gain, it's a snowball effect.
It is?
Okay, yes. Yes, and then you don't start cleaning, you're not caring for your pets.
Right.
You're not caring for your hygiene.
Right.
It's all part of the depression.
Oh,
okay?
It's like a cycle.
Yes,
All right.
and I deal with many hoarders, and I see how they really believe that it's okay what they're living in,
Right.
and the way where they're at in life. But somebody on the outside looking in, you can see that they're depressed. They're not eating right.
Right.
They're not taking care of themselves, and I can see it's their depression get better if they reach out for help, which I totally encourage folks to do.
Right.
And it's okay to ask for help.
Do you ever connect people with health professionals?
Yes, I
You
do
do.
have.
So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
really great.
Yes.
Wow. So you're helping them mentally, emotionally, and their environment. You're tying it together. What a great
Yes.
gift.
Yes.
And you're using your gifts too, which you're good at sales, you're good at organization. This
And
is a win-win.
Every home I leave, I always end up with a hug,
Oh, wow.
because we're all on the same page. We're the
Right.
judgment-free zone.
So you don't
Okay.
you don't
I-
judge these people when you walk in and they
When
got
I don't
socks
care,
everywhere.
Right, I don't care why it's the way it is.
Okay.
I want to help you get to your next place.
Wow.
And help you feel the weight lifted off your shoulders, so you can be happy again.
I see you like a coach. Like you're coaching them
Yeah.
through a process.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever said that to you?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they use counselor as
A
well,
counselor?
but I'm not
Okay.
qualified. But yes,
Right.
when you get on a personal level with folks,
That's
because you're
amazing.
into their closets.
Yeah.
You're into their
You're like,
personal
when did you
stuff.
wear this before? You don't need it.
Really, these shoes, come on, I do a lot of convincing, like, you really don't need these anymore,
Wow. I tell you, it really helps to, when I had my sister come in and help me clean the house, and a good friend of mine came over and started going through stuff, I kind of sat back and I thought, why do I think this way? Why do I get a barrier here where this other person just goes, that's gone, and they just get rid of it? And it's like, after a while, I go, wow, they see things differently than I do. It's amazing.
Well, it might not be a priority right now in your life to tackle that task.
Right. Tomorrow I'll do it.
Right.
And tomorrow never comes.
What I tell folks to do is set their timer for 1 hour.
Ah, I love this.
Okay.
I love this.
That's another way you don't set yourself up to fail. You say, instead of saying, today, all I'm going to do is clean the living room.
You say you have to fail that way.
Right. And that's impossible, because the
is.
phone's going to ring, something's going to happen, you're going to lose,
Get frustrated.
interest or whatever.
And then start buying stuff on Amazon.
Right. But if you set your alarm for 1 hour,
Right.
and you get going, all of a sudden you hear ding, and you say, oh, I'm not done yet.
Right.
And you can set it for another, and you feel like you've met your goal. Wow, you
I
feel
love it.
great. You
Right.
feel great, like you're accomplishing something.
I have a coach in the UK, and he says there's something you can do for 20 minutes. He sets it for 20 minutes, whether it's prospecting or sales or just working on a website. He goes, just pick 20 minutes and just do it. And that's
Yes.
it. And that's wonderful, because
That's
you can
positive. That's
it is.
great
You know,
advice.
Most times people get caught up, and the other thing too is I think it has to do with habits. I've learned through studying communication that we have like 45 to 65,000 thoughts every day, and tomorrow we'll have the same thoughts. And so if we have the same thoughts every single day and our environment is the same way, we need somebody like you that's going to come in and say, I think differently here. Let me help you. And that's what
Right.
you do. So
And what I do as well is I tell folks, remember way back when they had the 8 tracks?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
I tell them, take the 8 track out of your head.
Ah.
And maybe if they're up to CDs,
Yeah. Or MP3s now.
Yes, yeah. Put that in, because life is different.
It is.
Totally different.
So you're basically helping them upgrade. We're going to be back in 1 minute. We're going to take a fast commercial break. We'll be back with Jeanette talking about how to declutter your life and to change the way you think. So we'll be back in about a minute or so. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Mindful Conversations. I'm Greg Dwyer. We're with Jeanette Westwood. We're talking about mindset here. We're talking about how to change your mind and specifically how to declutter. So thank you for staying with us. So I want to talk to you about this. This is a business. You're helping people, you're doing a good thing, you're exercising your gifts. But if you're not good at selling, if you're not good at prospecting, if you're not good at presenting or networking, you probably would fail. And it looks like you're very successful. So how do you do this as a business? There might be some folks out here, hopefully they're not going to steal your idea, but they might have their own calling, their own idea. What kind of business mindset do people need to start some kind of business, no matter what it is?
Well, first of all, there are many up-and-coming businesses that are they're branching off. They're only doing maybe one of the services that I do. Maybe they go into folks' homes and just organize.
Okay.
But in order to do that, you have to build a client base, and it seriously is all based on trust.
You read my mind. You have to
Yes,
trust.
You
There has
have
to be
to trust. Nowadays, you don't know who's going into your home.
Right.
I have a lot of referrals, verbal
sure.
referrals. Other folks have done the homework for them.
Nice.
So it basically comes down to trust and quality.
Right.
You have to, if you make a promise to someone, you have to follow through. And I always go that extra mile.
Nice.
Okay, it's like it's out of respect.
Customer service is important to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if there's anything wrong, if you have any questions, my phone is open 24/7. But you have to follow through. And I treat everyone else's home and themselves with respect, and I
great.
treat it like it's my home.
Nice.
If I see someone come through the door that I don't recognize, it's like Fort Knox or whatever.
They say if someone has a bad experience with anything, they're going to tell 9 people. They're going to say, I had a terrible experience with this company. But if they've had a good experience, they'll tell 2 or 3 people. But negative words just spread like wildfire. So it's important that you provide the great customer service.
Let's look at it. I mean, it's impossible to please everyone.
True.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I try.
Yeah,
I really try.
Yeah, it's impossible.
And at 99.99%, we always succeed. And they're always saying, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this years ago, instead of carrying this weight on my shoulders.
You know what I love about your business is that it's measurable. In other words, you walk into a house completely cluttered, crazy. You work with them a day, a week, a month, whatever. At the end, you could do a before and after photo.
Oh, yes, I have them.
You have.
Yes.
Like I used to paint when I was in college. I used to go into a house and I'd paint the house, the inside. And I don't like to paint anymore. I can do it. But one thing I do love about painting is you see the results at the end, within an hour, a day.
Refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah, it's funny, Greg, because I have actually saved a couple marriages.
You have?
Yes.
I've broken a few up.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Tell me the story.
Some points, there was a gentleman who kept his wife's car outside, and his wife said, I'm telling you, this is the last year I'm keeping my car outside. If you do not take care of that garage, we have a garage for my car to be in, and you have all your stuff in there.
Wow.
If you do not, she was fed up.
Yeah.
And you can only put up with that for so long.
Right.
And he had to break down, and he called us, and we helped him, and he's like, gosh, I should have done that years ago. And they make it, it's not as big as monstrous if folks feel like it is.
Exactly.
We make it fun, and we work so fast and follow through that they go, geez, they're really happy. They're happy with the end results.
Well, that brings me to this thought about how we visualize and how we have a concept in our head. So we look at something. It could be something as simple as that or whatever it is. And my mom used to say this all the time. We have a tendency of making mountains out of molehills. And so we blow it up, we make it bigger than it is, and then someone else looks at it and goes, this is not that difficult. Right. And they help, and you do that. Right. And I never thought that you actually would save marriages, that you would actually help with relationships. To me, that's fascinating. Never even thought of that.
There was a gentleman that we just went down into his basement. They have young kids, and his wife was at work, and he hired us to go down, and she's been overwhelmed with work and working long hours. So he said, while she's at work, I want you to organize our basement.
Wow.
But he says, you only have till 5 o'clock because she's coming home at 6. And we went down there the whole day, bang, 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 put all the Christmas stuff in order because they just kept putting it at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
We put all the housewares in order, all the electronics, the tools, the whole bit. And he was just amazed on how quickly that he felt like, wow, and he even gave us a bonus because he said, I just can't believe how wonderful you folks are.
I remember a few winters ago, I came home. I live in the Litchfield area. So I come home, the snow was up to my waist. And I was walking in the backyard where I have my dog, you know. And it took me like 15 minutes to get back there because the snow was high and it was really a terrible blizzard winter. And all of a sudden I hear this water running, which is my next door neighbor. And I'm thinking, this isn't supposed to be happening. So I called 911, I called the police or whatever happened. And then they came over, found out that she went into a nursing home for some reason. I didn't know this. And the pipes broke in the house, and the whole first floor just was filled with water. The police were there, the paramedics were there, they had to break in the window. And to make a long story short, the next day there was a dumpster. And that dumpster was filled with everything that was in the house, I thought. The next day it was emptied. The next day another dumpster came, filled that again. I thought, well, that's everything. The next day there was another dumpster there, and I thought, all of this stuff, you know, that just clutters our life, and it's crazy.
And again, it's all walks of life. It's I mean, it's not just someone who's lost their jobs. I mean, it's all walks of life. People in suits. You know, it's all walks of life. So.
I'm at the point in my life when I pick out a book at a library or a bookstore, or even Amazon. I say to myself, where am I going to put this? And the same thing with clothes. Like
one in, one out.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
One in, one out.
That's a good idea. And the other thought is like clothes. Like I have a section for my clothes for the summer, and I have a section for my winter clothes, and I have to switch them out because I don't have closet space. And I think to myself, I don't want to buy this because I don't want to get a storage unit.
No, there's so many folks that have 2, 3, 4 storage units, and they've been paying on for 4, 5, 6 years.
Do they also have timeshares in Florida?
They can because they can't afford it. They're paying it towards storage.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's a woman that lives in New York. She used to live in Connecticut, and she has 6 storage units, 10 by 30s.
Is she famous? Is she an actress?
No,
or I probably
no,
shouldn't
she's
ask
in
that.
the nursing field.
Oh, she is. Okay.
And we calculated it out. It's been 10 years she's has these.
Wow.
Over $500,000.
She could have bought an island somewhere.
But her husband left her the whole bit, and she just can't get out of that rut. She can't get out of that rut.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad. It's real. It's real.
Well, when I first met you, and I think Steve was the gentleman who's been, actually Steve Shappert, who was on my show my first time. You know Steve, right? So he's going to be on next month. I think he introduced me to you, and when I met you, I thought to myself, this is not just somebody that just cleans houses or organizes houses.
No.
This is someone that's on a higher level, you know, vibrating at a higher level. I don't know if you're spiritual, but I do know you care about people, and it seems like you have a gift that you're actually helping people with. To me, it's fabulous.
Well, it's funny you use the word spiritual.
I did.
Because I do have connections.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I do have feelings.
Okay.
There's homes where I walk in and I tell them, was your father, did he wear pants? Did he have whatever?
What do you mean? Do you know that by looking?
They come back to me. They come back to the home after they've passed. And I'm their connection to...
Wait a minute, what? You mean the people themselves that have died?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this about
sorry
you.
about that. Yes.
Wow, you're going to have to come back and talk about that.
Yeah, that is
Are you
just
kidding?
No, I'm serious. Things.
Okay, no, you're not saying that you walk in and see a pair of pants and start saying, did you have a father
no.
that wore a pair of pants?
No,
You're not making that up. You're telling me real stuff?
I never met these people. I have no idea who they are, what they are, but I asked them, did somebody pass away in his home?
No way.
Or yeah.
You have a feeling of that?
Yeah, they like, yeah.
So is there something else on the other card that we should know about? If I
don't practice
put lemon
it, I
juice
just
on
tell-
here, it'll appear?
It's magic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like, oh, you don't want this card? How about this card?
Yeah, yes.
No, are you serious?
Serious. Things fall off the walls. So I say, okay, we have to leave this room because I am all about respect. And I understand if I'm rocking their world, I move on to another
Well,
room.
I would like to talk about this. The only problem is we only have like 5 minutes left. But the question that I have, and we didn't rehearse this, and we're just going off the cuff here, is did you find that these gifts that you're talking about developed as you were a small child? Or did this just happen recently?
I think it's been my whole life.
Your whole
but
life?
I never tuned into it.
Really?
And believe it or not, my daughter, who is now 20,
Okay.
she has the same gift.
She does.
Yes.
We've had psychics on the
Yes.
show. We've had mediums on the show. We've had hypnotists on the show.
Yes.
I just tell people, hey, we're talking about the mind here. We're talking about life. You have to
Yes.
make your own decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to believe spiritually or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, there's homes we go in where I don't feel anything.
Right. Yeah.
But there's some fascinating stories I can tell you. I can tell you.
Go into somebody's house and clean it or move things around and then find out, I better not touch this.
Right. Well, every estate sale that I hold,
Yeah.
if someone has passed,
Yeah.
I usually have, if someone wants to call it a shrine, but I have respect for them, and I have.
You do.
Yeah, I put something like their picture, or if they were a fisherman, I
Right.
put their fisherman picture
Right,
up there.
right.
I always do something in memory of them.
Nice.
And it's great for the family to come in.
Yeah, I went to
know.
Vegas last summer, and there's a gentleman by the name of Jeff McBride who, no, it was actually Jeff's house, now that I think about it. But Jeff had a shrine for one of the guys that he was very close to, who passed away, and they almost had a death mask and one of his effects that he had done. And I thought that was really nice that they had this space for that, so you
Yes,
provide that.
respect. Yes,
Yeah.
respect.
Well, I did not know that about you. I should have done some research, but it's probably nothing you really promote here.
No.
Because it's
But
controversial.
But I do have to mention there are many families that their families live here in Connecticut.
Yep.
And we go to Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, the whole bit.
Right.
But a lot of folks that live out of state,
Right.
their parents or whoever someone's here that passes, they don't know what to do.
Right. They're
So,
totally.
yeah, and it's not cost effective for them to fly out.
No.
The whole bit. So they call me, and I go into homes. I do free consults. I give them
Wow.
tips.
Wow.
Give them some ideas and give them a little push, a nudge.
And you also do
know.
presentations. I didn't know
Yes,
this.
I do presentations.
Yeah, tell us
for-
about what's coming up for some of the trainings that you're doing.
Sure. I teach twice a year,
Okay.
organizing class at Rockville High School.
Okay.
And the next one is coming up in March.
Great.
So I'm going to be posting that on my website very shortly.
Do people pay to go see that?
Yes, I believe it's $25. It's for an hour and a half, and it's in
Nice.
the evening. So if
Okay.
you have to work, it works out.
Now, where is this high school? I don't know the area.
Vernon,
Okay, Vernon.
Connecticut.
I know
Okay,
Vernon.
Yep.
Okay.
And also in March, I'm going to be doing a presentation for Rockville Library.
Okay, very nice.
And that again is like Vernon,
Yes.
Rockville, Vernon. But I do presentations for realtors, the whole bit.
That's great.
All the time, just to clue them in.
That's how I got
give
my
them
started.
helps.
I started doing a presentation called The Magic of Communication, and for 1 year, I just did every single library in Connecticut that would bring me in. And
Wonderful,
so I've learned a lot about you. I hope
Yes.
we gave you something to think about. We're looking at this. We're literally almost out of time. Jeanette, thank you so much.
Great.
Give the website one more time so people can get a hold
Yes. Let's get organizedtoday.com, or please send me your email at lgotodayllc@aol.
Thank you so
.com.
much.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll see you next time. Thank you. And I hope you come back.
Thank you.
Okay.